Welcome, basketball fans, to a very special Veterans Day edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. Joined in the booth with Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony, this is Kevin Harlan. This Boston crowd ready to roar in this Eastern Conference matchup for the Celtics. And, of course, Russell Westbrook. Let's see how they continue to fare without him.
And as shocked as people are that they would trade away a player of his caliber, Kevin, they didn't just let him go for nothing. They got a lot in return. I think it's a deal that's going to really help them down the road.
And that's the idea. You know, you want to build a foundation on which this team can continue to move upward. So certainly some fans unhappy to see him go, but fans will be patient and they also continue to be fans.
And it's going to be the Pacers off the tip. Let's check out Indiana's starting lineup. They've got Embiid. Paul George is out there with Turner. Then it's Curry. And it's Booker in at the 2 guard. Now here's Embiid. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
And looking at Joel Embiid, he has all the tools to be the game's next great center. He's raw, no doubt about that. And he'll have to overcome the injuries, but his combination of size, speed, agility, practically unparalleled.
That's off as well, so he misses both. Regarding Joel Embiid, what makes him even that much more unique as a young 7-footer, excellent shot mechanics and a feathery touch. In college at Kansas, he shot Greg 63% from the floor. Many of those were face-up jumpers.
And as the season wore on, he became money at the free throw line as well. Those are the kinds of unique attributes that make him an extra scary prospect.
And so it's the Celtics getting on the board first. He feeds it to Curry. The three-pointer, no good. And stolen by Booker. Curry kicks to Embiid. For the 3. It's hauled in by Thomas. On defense, Indiana. They defeated the Pelicans in their last game.
Well, that was a very physical game, and I think that plays into their hands. So a lot of their points came at the foul line.
And it also led to a lot of foul trouble for some of the key guys they were up against. So we can't forget about that part of it either.
Clock at 4. And it's sent back by George. Now the Pacers moving it up. Here's Booker. That falls. Nice feed that time from George.
Wow, the floor just really opened up for him on that possession.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for good offense, but that was just a terrible reaction from the defense.
Now here is Horford. His last outing, he had 8 points. Thomas goes in. Here's Crowder. Here's Horford, and it's sent back by George. The first quarter of action, 2 minutes in. Booker the pass to Embiid. There's the pick. He dishes it to George. So they take the lead. George has got his first basket of the night.
Yes, strong move to the basket there. Nice power to get that up and in.
Thomas kicks to Olynyk. To the inside, Horford. And he jams it with authority.
Wow, what a pass there. He made that a very easy basket with that setup.
And a little over 2.5 minutes gone here in the first. Curry can't get it to go.
Well, I think the defense got lucky right there. I mean, he's going to make a lot more of those than he misses when he's got that much room.
Thomas kicks to Horford. Crowder with it. Off the screen. Lands soft on the front of the rim and drops.
And he came off that screen, and the D just didn't get over the top of it.
Yep, weren't there in time enough to challenge Greg, and when that's the case, you can mark those up for him.
Now here's Booker. 11 points for him in that last game against New Orleans. Jacks up a 3. And he gets it to go. Booker's got 5 now.
Nice stroke from long range, and if he keeps getting those opportunities, he better take them.
Boston took a lot of steps forward last season with their coach, Brad Stevens. Still, though, their defense was near the middle of the road. That will need some tweaking.
Yeah, and you could say that seemed to be the limiting factor, Kevin, in how far they eventually went. Strange, given how several years ago they were an offensive juggernaut.
And he sinks the second.
Yeah, you know, for the Celtics in their defense, a lot of it had to do with rim protection and challenging shots. They were actually last in the league in blocks.
The Pacers have gone 50% from the field, hitting 3 of 6 since the opening tip. Curry kicks to Turner. Fires from deep. Curry with another miss.
Yeah, and the Celtics averaged under 4 blocks a game last season, but blocks aren't the whole story. They let opponents get too many easy looks inside the paint. That's the real factor in why their defense was subpar.
Indiana's gone just 1 of 4 from three-point range here in the first. Outside Turner. That one off the back iron and out.
Ill-advised shot there, Clark.
Yeah, exactly. That was lower than low percentage.
It's stolen by Curry. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. Curry's got his first basket.
In that tight, with that much of an advantage height-wise, there's just not a lot the defense can do. And Steph Curry, 6'3" and about 195. I mean, a slender frame. You look back to high school and college, and that was one of the question marks. Did he have the strength to succeed?
Austin making some changes. Johnson, he's checked in for Horford. And Smart subbed in for Bradley. The Pacers also with a sub. Plumlee's checked in. Now, here's Thomas. Looking for his first basket still in this one. And it's sent back by Plumlee. And the official signals a backcourt violation. Not very careful there. And speaking of Curry's slight build, he's worked up and bulked himself up. He's added some muscle. He even got up to 200 pounds, I think he said. But he didn't feel real good, Clark, at that weight.
Yeah, it's not about the weight, Kevin. It's about strength. You need it to fight through screens and attack the rim, and he's clearly put on the strength he needs to play at his highest level.
And that one's good. Curry's got his second bucket tonight. And what's your take, guys, on the hustle sticks for Indiana?
They've come out in attack mode on the defensive end. They've applied pressure and forcing turnovers.
You know, another thing they've done well, guys, this first half is challenge shooters and change shots. A bunch of block shots early.
Here's George after the basket by Boston. Curry dishes to Embiid. And here is Curry. Shoots off the screen. Hits the front of the rim and out.
His touch has disappeared on him this quarter. He just hasn't been able to get it going.
Brown the pass to Johnson. The shot's good. Brown making the play.
Superb assist there. He played the role of the maestro on that one.
It's Curry with the drive. Now here's Embiid. Defense is right there.
You know, for the Pacers last season, with Paul George being out for most of the season, they knew it would be a struggle. They would go into lengthy dry spells that made it hard for them to keep pace in the East, in part because they missed Paul George's all-around brilliance and his offense.
As for those dry spells you mentioned about the Pacers, G8, they had a number of long losing streaks last season.
Yeah, as a team, they had 4 different losing streaks of 6 or more games, and they got hot at the end. Season-high win streak of 6 to stay playoff relevant. It was just too little, too late compared to their losing streaks earlier in the year.
Now here's Booker. He's got 5. The feed to Plumlee. Outside, George. Shot clock at 5 and stolen by Thomas. We've got 1:28 left here in the opening quarter. Johnson the screen. Brown against George. Back to Thomas. Clock at 6. Floats one. It's rebounded by Indiana.
Tell you what, they haven't wasted any time getting into the swing of things on the board.
And even this early, that's a good omen for the rest of the game.
And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
Brad Stevens and I got a chance to talk for a bit. One player that he's talked to his guys a lot about is Stephen Curry. He said Curry's one of the premier shooters in the game, and he's got that quick trigger. We really have to be tight to him, get physical, and try to get him on his heels as much as possible. Guys, Curry is an excellent free throw shooter. We'll see if they can do that without fouling him.
And thank you for that, Doris.
And Isaiah Thomas, traded last season from Phoenix over to Boston, seemed to be a matter of fit and not production as to why they moved him.
Greg, you were talking about Isaiah Thomas. He had no love lost for the Suns. In their first meeting, he took them apart, Clark, on the floor. Remember that game? Stared them down as he was hitting shots, looked at that bench. Man, he had a big chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, and you know, most guys that are a little undersized and have battled doubters all their careers bring that kind of edge anyway. You throw in the fact that he was disappointed how the trade unfolded. He was amped up and ready for that return visit. And he gives that rim a good tug on the way down.
That's how you drive your point home.
I tell you what, he's lucky on that one that he got away with maybe not picking up a tee.
Here's McCullough. It's 9 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. Brown against George. It's hauled in by Brown. And it's Thomas at the elbow. And yep, couple bounces and it falls. Now it's a 5-point Boston lead.
The entire defense was frozen-footed. Nobody picked up the shooter, Kevin.
And we reach the end of the first quarter. Boston on top as they end the first quarter on a 12-3 run. And Steph Curry, a player within the gym range. He told us about his comfort stretching the floor. I was going to say, Greg, how big must that hoop look to Steph Curry? And tough to guard might be the understatement of the day.
I mean, he is just an insanely great shooter. I mean, arguably, I don't think there's an argument. He's the best shooter in the world. The argument is whether or not he's the best shooter ever. And listen, I can imagine there's very few times that Coach Curry is not going to allow this splash brother to let her rip.
Now the second quarter getting ready to start up. And when you consider how the Celtics are doing, guys, what jumps out to you stats-wise?
They seem to be a step slower, and that's one reason why they've been able to own the rebounding edge.
Well, the anticipation's been better. As the ball hits the rim, it's gone right to them. Solid job of them chasing it down and anticipating.
Smart and Bradley the guards. Olynyk is out there with Horford, and it's Crowder in at the 3. That's the 5 to begin the second quarter for the Celtics. And he gets the bucket. 6 points for Steph Curry.
Wow, got that one off right in the face of the big fella. Nice quick-fire release.
Yeah, and the mid-range shot really the only option in that situation. Sometimes when you're facing a bigger guy, you can't get it all the way to the rim.
Bradley drives in. And Olynyk kicks to Horford. And around a minute gone here in the second quarter. Out of bounds, Indiana takes possession.
And here's a look at some numbers for Al Horford. Coming off a terrific season. Averaged about 15 points a game last season. 7 rebounds and 3 assists. And for a reserve big man, not a big drop-off when he checks in the game.
Yeah, you know, you want your team to at least hold court when the reserves come in. Don't lose ground. He definitely keeps them solid up front.
Curry passes to Hollis Jefferson. They set the pick. Curry dishes to Nogueira. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
And really the defense fouling there to prevent the layup, but that's exactly what you need to do.
It is. I mean, no reason to back off and give him the layup. I mean, much better off making him go to the line.
Reggie Bullock, he's checked in for Booker. And Nogueira drops them both.
And the Pacers just missed out on the playoffs last year and would have to settle for 9th in the East. Hard for a team that has been so dominant in the East over recent seasons.
Olynyk sets a screen for Bradley. Kicks to Olynyk. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. And for the Pacers against the East, they actually played the rest of the conference. Greg, very well, ended with a 28-24 record, Clark, against the East.
The only team, Kevin, in the East with a winning record against the rest of the conference not to make the playoffs. Only went 10-19 against the playoff teams in the conference.
And Indiana making a change here.
And the thing with Kelly Olynyk, he does some stuff that really helps you, and some also that will hurt. I mean, he's highly skilled. He's got the deep range, textbook positioning in terms of the post. A lot of tricky moves down there. Yet he has a hard time being effective against great athletes, which the NBA is filled with. So he's going to have to evolve as a basketball player if he wants to be effective.
Bradley kicks to Smart. Back to Bradley. Ripped away. There's the lob to the hoop. Oh, a nice defensive play to disrupt the alley-oop. It's 3-on-3 on the fast break. And a little under 2.5 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. Smart passes to Horford. And a fast break now for the Pacers. And he bangs it home with one hand.
And guys, that's a big swing right there. I mean, taking the steal and then turning it into 2 easy points on the dunk.
No telling how important that sequence could turn out to be.
And guys, in a game this snug, moments like that are the ones we usually look back on at the end as a difference maker.
Time called here. The Celtics decide to talk it over. Well, and back to Kelly Olynyk. As a coach, you have to identify the matchups where he can be effective, because Clark is against explosive, long-limbed guys. They'll take advantage of him.
Yeah, they will, but in the right matchup, he's effective. He can help. He makes 35% of his threes, has done that for the last 2 years, and I think he gives you some toughness and rebounding as well. I like him as a second-unit player.
Your Rebco's checked in for Kelly Olynyk. Curry brings the double. Your Rebco kicks to Crowder. 5 to shoot, and out of bounds as the Pacers gain possession.
And that's just carelessness there. I mean, you have got to have your head in the game.
Plumlee, he's checked in for Indiana. And for those of you just joining us, we're in the second quarter with about 3 minutes gone by. It's Curry with the drive, stolen by Smart, and pushing it up. Here's Boston. Smart leading the charge. Horford dishes to Crowder. Back to Horford. Loses the defender with the screen and drills the jumper. Horford's got 5.
A lot of space right there to get that shot off.
Not a very good job of the defender getting over the top of that screen in that particular play.
Curry kicks to Embiid. Some nice passing here by Indiana. Shot clock at 6. It's Curry outside, and the shot is good. Curry's got 5 points in the quarter.
You know, he'll make you scratch your head and throw your hands up as a defender. I mean, you just don't know how to play him. Well, so far for Coach Brad Stevens, the Celtics have had nothing but praise for their outstanding young coach. No surprise for those of us who know Brad. The team is really moving ahead in the rebuilding process, and he gets a lot of the credit for that.
Booker. That doesn't go on the chance to tie.
You can see he just rushed that a little bit. Lost the focus, I think.
Now Smart. He's coming off a 25-point game against Milwaukee.
And he also chipped in with a couple blocks in that game. Just a hint at the impact he had on the defensive side. No one to blame on that one but himself. You get looks like that, you've got to take advantage.
George with no one around. And again, it's the Pacers from deep.
That's 2 bombs in a row from long range.
Let's face it, the defense is a step slow. You've got to take away the airspace.
And Steph Curry with the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game.
Man, it's close, but, you know, didn't get on balance quick enough.
Yeah, and as quick as players are at this level, in this day and age, I mean, you've got to be perfect in your anticipation to draw the charge.
Here's what Boston's going with right now. Amir Johnson's checked in for Horford. Brown comes in for Crowder, and Thomas subbed in for Marcus Smart.
And trying to come up with the highlight reel finish, somebody forgot to finish it. And you know what? That's one of those heat checks if he's taking shots like that.
Yeah, heat check or not, I don't care how hot he may or may not be. He's not making that one.
Bradley, no one around him. The shot's good. Brown making the play. Brown's got his 3rd assist on the night. Guys, no one team gaining control early on.
Give and take, back and forth, the whole way thus far.
Yeah, and you look at the lead changes, 6 already.
Oh, and that one had the right spin on it, and it is good. Curry's got the game tied up here for the Pacers. Now here's Bradley. He's coming off a 10-point game against Milwaukee.
And don't forget about his playmaking in that game either. I mean, he did a great job of attacking the D and creating opportunities for both himself and his teammates.
Indiana's gone 2 of 3 when they've stepped beyond the arc in the second quarter. No one near Curry as he lets it go. And the Pacers another 3.
How can you forget about him? I mean, he's not going to miss that open of a look.
Bradley passes to Thomas. To the inside. Jerebko banked in off the glass.
And we always talk about making your teammate better. That assist was right on target.
And guys, as much as Isaiah Thomas can help you on offense, at times he can hurt you on the defensive side. Immediately posted up by whomever he's guarding, you have to give help. And of course, that leaves your defense vulnerable, particularly on the weak side and controlling that defensive backboard.
Outside Bradley. Pass to Thomas. Fires from 14. Can't get it to go. And it's the Pacers taking it the other way. When you're talking about Isaiah Thomas before, certainly his short stature limits him on Clark, the defensive side.
Yeah, but you know what? He doesn't rack up a ton of steals, given his instincts and quickness. I think he really focuses on making his impact at the offensive end.
Curry outside. Can't get it to go. Excellent D from Thomas. Last game for the Celtics, it was a loss to the Bucks in Milwaukee.
And with the number of turnovers they had in that game, guys, it was going to be an uphill battle all the way.
Especially when you couple the turnovers with the soft defense they were playing. That's a losing combination.
Johnson outside. And Embiid with the block. Curry outside. Another miss by Curry. And pushing it up, here's Boston. He's got the ball, and he gets it to go as they call the foul.